Hello, guys and gals, and welcome. So today we got the Diablo II Resurrected update and new class, currency tabs, freaking amazing. Rune tab, materials tab, gem tab. We got 5 pages down here of shared tabs. This is a shared tab, and it's got 5 pages of shared tabs. The new class is the Warlock, and the Warlock seems to be based around like demons and like demonic powers essentially. Like he has the ability to send basically summon Goatman and like sacrifice the demons to like the other world and consume their powers and like crazy things like that. He also has some really cool like melee abilities like mirrored blades, which seems to be really neat. A cleave. He has access to echoing strike, which is what I'm using right now, and I'm actually really enjoying it. With the upgrade from the mirrored blades, it actually gets multiple extra strikes, which is pretty cool. So instead of just having one blade, it actually does multiple blades. There's multiple ways that you can imbue your weapons, like the hexes. There's 3 different hexes, and they do some pretty cool stuff. There's also multiple sigils, which are also really neat to use. It have various effects. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of like hover over every single skill real quick. Let me pull myself off the camera so you guys can have a look at it. The expansion or whatever it is $25. So if you guys want to pick it up, I think it's totally worth it. I've only played for I don't know, maybe like 8 or 10 hours or whatever so far, but totally think it's worth it. I'm going to do this quickly. You guys can pause it if necessary to like pull them up later if you want to take a look at them. And then there's there I did this one. There's the demon tree. Crushing blow on those guys. Pretty neat. Now, other than the actual class itself, there's a lot more things. There's actually a whole lot more besides the currency tabs, which are pretty amazing. The class itself, which is pretty cool. He's capable of using two-handed weapons in one hand, which is like kind of nutty. And he also gets to use a shield or like his one of his books with it, which has been very interesting to play around with for sure. Literally using a freaking F Colossus sword in one hand with a shield in the other, which is hilarious. On top of this, there's also a lot of new sets. There's a class set specifically for this character. There's also another set that we've seen. One in particular that we've spotted a couple pieces of is this set, which is called the Bane's Garments. And Bane's Garments has a couple different pieces. We've already got a couple of the pieces so far. I'm sure a lot of this stuff is going to get data mined. I'm pretty sure there's a class specific set for the Warlock, as there's a class specific set for basically every character. There also seems to be unique items specifically for the new character, as well as some unique items not specifically for that character. I think I had kind of like here's kind of like an overview. This is one of them right here. Ars Dull Mephistos Occult Tome. Gives plus Warlock skills, Blizzard Wind Struck, some pretty interesting stuff. Negative magic resistance, which is a really interesting stat that you don't really see on a lot of pieces of equipment. It looks like there's multiple of these books. There's 3 different ones for like 3 different setups. There's also a couple other ones like Hell Warden's Will, which is a unique death mask that gives both faster cast and attack speed. The Sling Ring, which is a unique ring that gives negative enemy magic resistance. There's the Opal Vein, which is a unique ring with random elemental damage. Great for most builds. Horizon's Legacy, newest boots in the Warlock class set, boasting magic resistance as an affix. I mean, there's tons of stuff. They're also allowing us to craft sunder charms, which are basically going to be able to take like the original sunder charms and craft them into more useful versions that have various mods, like faster run walk, faster recovery, or all attributes, life or mana, magic or damage reduced, magic damage reduced, and magic find or gold find, which is pretty neat. On top of this, obviously, there's the stash tabs. We got a loot filter as well. Not really something I'm particularly interested in, especially early on right now when we have no clue what the hell's even dropping and what's valuable. But later on, it could be interesting to dive into the loot filter when like we have a better idea of what's valuable and what's not. There's also the Chronicle, which is really freaking cool, which is essentially a Holy Grail built into the game. So you can essentially do your Holy Grail in the game itself, which is something I think I've been asking for a while. On top of that, there's also some special rewards for completing the journey, like finding all the step sets will give you glowing footsteps. Finding all the uniques will gain a character a new skin glow, and making all the rune words will get a new town portal skin, which is pretty cool. There's also a lot of interesting things they did with the end game, like the terror zones have been reworked a little bit to spawn every 30 minutes, and you'll also be able to collect some dojanks to be able, they call them terror zone shards, to force an entire act to become terrorized. So you can basically just kind of like have a little bit of control over what's terrorized and what's not. They also have a new Uber boss, the Uber Ancients, which you're basically going to be able to empower the Ancients to basically get them to drop special items. These are going to be pretty cool. I'm actually kind of excited to test out the Uber Ancients. Mosaic is being removed from ladder, and the redesign is coming soon, and it looks fantastic. So as of right now, Mosaic's just gone from ladder. The ladder reset starts on February 20th. So we got like 9 days to test out the game and play around with the new character before the ladder reset starts. So hop into the game. You can actually play today, and as I've been doing like pretty much for quite some time today. And honestly, I'm sure that there is stuff that we haven't discovered yet, unique items we haven't seen, rune words that we haven't seen. There's actually a couple new rune words all over the place. Um, in fact, if I type in like D2R new rune words, let's see if we can find some of the new ones on here. Ritual, chance to cast level 1 Death Sigil when struck. Looks like a pretty generic one otherwise. Vigilance, chance to cast level 10 Fire Ring when struck. That's kind of cool. Void, plus 2 to all skills, 40% faster cast rate. It's 3 socket daggers. Comes with plus 1 to Abyss, attributes, and Decrepify charges. That's pretty darn cool. Coven, 5% chance to cast level 10 Sigil Lethargy when struck. Um, Interesting. Lethargy is actually kind of nice. That's actually a really good. It is actually really good, and that's on a helmet. That's kind of nutty. Istral Io, that's even super cheap. Sigil does a lot of things, or Sigil Lethargy, it does a lot of various things, and I've actually been using it a lot because it has basically all the like the bonuses. It's got negative attack speed. It's got the like the run walk speed. It also has damage taken bonus, enemy defense bonus, or a reduction. Like it's just overall a really strong ability, even at level 1. And this is level 10. That sounds super OP. I'm probably going to be using Coven quite a bit upcoming. Authority, 2% chance to cast Psychic Ward when struck, which is kind of like a beefed up version of Bone Armor. And then Miasma Chain, which is kind of interesting. That's a body armor piece. We've also got, looks like that's it for the newer ones. Of course, there may be more of them. Who knows? I mean, overall, it just looks like a really good expansion. Obviously, I'm going to be doing tons of videos. I need to collect data. I need to play with the skills. I need to go over the process of like, using the abilities, figuring out how they work. But I fully expect to have videos coming up on every single rune word, every single unique item, every single skill on the new character. And I'll probably try and go over maybe some builds and stuff that I can come up with. We're going to be theory crafting a lot with this new character over the next 9 days, upcoming to the ladder. I'm going to want to get like very familiar with the new character and come out with as many videos as I can. So do look out for those. It's going to be a fun time at D2R land. And And yeah, I'm gonna be chugging some monster drinks and working hard on this. So I hope you guys will support me. Anyway, as always, I'd appreciate you guys and gals watching. Hope you guys are as excited as I am about this. I'm overcoming a little bit of a cold, so hopefully I didn't sound too terrible. And as always, keep watching.